Hey, you get back here, man.
I'm making a game in Minecraft.
I know.
Hello. What am I, you ask? A good question for every mirror. Neither slings nor arrows will pierce my nerves as outrageous fortune blunts my hide. Though I see, though I hunger, can I truly be considered alive? When the only suffering I bear is the existing without. Joy sprouts from the fertile soil of despair, but like a fungus I cannot agonize in any way that matters, so ask again, what am I? You... Actually, this kinda sucks. Death is usually a method of punishment, resetting the player's progress by varying amounts so that they can try again, hopefully having learned a bit from the previous attempt. It adds stakes and a position for the player to build momentum from. But I feel that death in the modern gaming landscape is often a deterrent. If a player feels immediately discouraged, they might not ever play the game again. I see this as both a shift in gaming culture, as more game options are available than ever, as well as a challenge to designers. Because I am epic and very cool, difficult gameplay will always be more satisfying to complete, in my opinion. But maybe adding more design around death and failure itself is a great way to keep players invested, despite the reset and progress. Some examples of games that do this well are Sekiro or even Mario. Players have more than one chance to recover their progress before facing a hard reset. When you have more chances to try and less time between those chances, there's more fun being had. But I want to expand on this. And one of my biggest inspirations is an indie game called Sons of Valhalla. Upon dying, you have a chance to recover your progress by beating the god of death in an extra boss fight. I love the idea of fighting your way back to life, creating some intense moments with peaks and valleys and eventual triumph. What if we did something similar? What if in our RPG, players could have a chance to fix their mistakes by overcoming a new challenge? Well, enough talk, let's check it out. Hello everybody, welcome back to another Project Riptide devlog. Today, we're going over our Death Realm. Name, work in progress. But, as we talked about in the little intro there, we're going to be doing mechanics on death, and this is a little preview, but first let's exit. Now, whenever we die, we'll be transported to the Death Realm, and if we come back from the Death Realm alive, if we pass and we succeed in its challenge, then we'll be transported right back to our to the spot we died. All right, let's see it in action. I'm gonna set my spawn here, right? I have do immediate respawn turned on, so we're not going to see the death screen. We're just going to be immediately teleport to wherever we should go when we die. So if I kill, we're actually teleported into our Death Realm, and immediately you see these missiles starting to get fired off from the armor stands. This is just a little demonstration, not really a gameplay test, because you can kind of just stand in the middle. And then yeah, after a bit of delay, we were never hit by a missile, allowing us to get teleported back right to where we died, right? But let's talk about expansion and how we could make this a bit better. One of the problems I saw with Sons of Valhalla's system is that it got very stale, because every time you died, you faced the same exact boss fight, right? And then it just sort of becomes a routine of when you die, you just do the exact same thing to kind of come back to life, and then it sort of loses the challenge and the tension of challenging yourself to revive, right? So the way I want to fix that is actually by adding bunch of different kinds of challenges that are randomized under a few different categories. The ones I'm thinking of right now are probably bullet hell, sort of like what we saw right now, or maybe like Enter the Gungeon, Archvale, games like that, right? Just a bunch of missiles, dodge them, stay alive for like a minute, then you succeed, right? And then we'll have a bunch of different bullet formations that are chosen randomly upon dying, right? And then another category would maybe even be riddles. I'll write out a bunch of riddles, and then you'd have to answer it through a dialogue tree, and then if you get the riddle correct, then boom, revive. The third one, I'm not entirely sure. It's up in the air. I'm completely open to ideas. Maybe just a quick arena fight with like a boss or something, or maybe a mob of mobs. But yeah, a bunch of different kinds of options, right? And I think this will help add a lot of variety to what we're doing with the Death Realm stuff. But there is one thing, and you might have noticed that already. This is a lot. This is a lot of work, right? And we're still on phase 1. Making this whole Death Realm mechanic is gonna be almost like a little mini game, like a small little game in itself, right? I'm likely not going to have the Death Realm in its full capacity for phase 1. I'll probably just stick to one single challenge for now, just to gather gameplay feedback, as I don't want to overscope. I've slowly realized that a lot of the gameplay decisions I need to make are going to require gameplay feedback, which is why it's important that I finish phase 1 before I move on to phase 2 and some of the wider, more intricate content, so I can know how to do it. Because there's only so much I can do just theorizing and designing stuff by myself. But we're not done just yet. You know what time it is. A few devlogs ago, we went over the world-building lore doc, and in it we mentioned copper. I wanted to talk about, in preparation for our next devlog involving a bit of the combat system, some of the importance of copper and sort of the different metals and economics going into our world. So in the mainland setting of our game, copper is actually incredibly common. It's everywhere. Regardless of social status or wealth or whatever. Everybody's using it, everybody's working with it. Copper is actually a very easy material to mold. All you need is a little bit of heat and maybe a hammer. Comparatively, iron is very, very rare and is locked down by a lot of like mining companies and nobles and just upper class people. But what does this have to do with our combat system? Well, guns. Now don't worry, it's exactly like this for the precise reason of guns are not very common. You will not find a lot of guns. If anybody tried to make a gun out of copper, it would fall apart. The explosion from firing off gunpowder would just wreck it, right? So you might find a couple one-shot copper guns every once in a while. But if you do find maybe a nice iron flintlock, that's a very rare find, or perhaps the symbol of a very powerful or strong enemy. And because guns are so rare and valuable, the player's going to be using them very intermittently. They'll have to be very conservative with how they use it. They'll want to save ammo, they'll want to save the ability to have a certain gun at a certain point. It will give us the opportunity to mix gun combat and sword combat, and one other thing that I am very excited for, but no spoilers there, you'll just have to wait till the next devlog. Thanks for watching, thanks for playing, my name has been Devon, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.